Hello everyone, and welcome to this podcast from the Centre for Sustainable Architecture with Wood at the University of Tasmania. In this podcast, we're going to be introducing the various types of wood products. My name's Greg Nolan, and my colleague here,
Jon Shanks. Hello.
If we look at wood products, there's a range of different categories of products that are produced. Our first group is round timbers. That's timbers where basically we're using just the log. Our next group are sawn timbers. That's timbers that are just sawn from the log without that much further processing.
Our next group after sawn timber are products based on veneers. Veneers either recovered from the log by slicing or peeling. From the veneer product group, we move to groups of materials fabricated or manufactured from fibre and chip-based components. The final product group then are composite products, and these might be composites between a number of different types of wood products or composites between wood products and another material.
A couple of things we'll notice with all of these products as we move through is they can be made of different species of timber, and we use the different appearances and characteristics of each of those species for different purposes when we build. Let's look first at timber rounds. This is a small piece of a radiata pine log, and we can see that it's basically just been shaved to give us a cylinder from the log, and then the material's been treated. Effectively though, a timber round can be anything that's taken from the log itself and the log just trimmed and shaped into the form that we want to use in a building. Our next major group then is sawn products. Now, sawn products are more diverse. In sawn timber, we basically take the log is then passed through a series of saws, and we end up with rectangular or square pieces of material like this. There are two basic types of material that we can look at when we're looking at sawn material. The first is timber that's used primarily for appearance applications or architectural applications. The next is material that is used for structural purposes.
As well as using the timber in its relatively unprocessed sawn form, we can then take smaller sections of sawn timber and reassemble them into larger components. So looking at three examples of this, we've got glue laminated hardwood timber here, and in this case we have sections of sawn board pressed together and glue bonded along the seams. This here is an example of a softwood glue lam. In that process, it may also be required to join the pieces of sawn timber end to end, because glue laminated timber we can make in quite long lengths, and in such a case we would need to join the timber here, and here you can see a glued finger joint. Moving on from glue laminated timber, an alternative product is cross-laminated timber. Cross-laminated timber components tend to be manufactured in panels. Sawn board elements, arrange them in alternate directions on each layer, much as you do with plywood, and then they're pressed and glued together. This is a small piece of CLT, cross-laminated timber, but it can come in sheets many metres wide and many metres long, which then get cut into the components we need, typically. Thicknesses range from about this up to about 500 millimetres thick.
For some logs, we want to peel the log and then make veneer out of it. Now, when we've made the veneer, we've got a range of things we can do. We can use the veneer for an appearance application, or we can stick the veneer back together again in various different combinations to make a range of different products. The two major types of products are plywoods, like these, and plywood has the characteristic that each layer of veneer in the plywood runs in an alternative direction. Another product we can make is LVL, or laminated veneer lumber. With laminated veneer lumber, most of the veneers run in the one direction, that is, along the panel. And we can make very big panels out of LVL material, and they're made in a very big continuous press. So the beauty that these types of products have, and the glue laminated products have, over our normal sawn boards, is that these are not constricted in size by the size of the log, as sawn boards are. Our last major product group is then our particle and fibreboard products. And these come in a wide range of different products. The parts of the log that can't be used for these other products, or logs that are just inappropriate or unsuitable for any of these other products, are then broken down into smaller components such as a flake, a chip, a particle or a fibre. Then you can combine those materials back again with some form of binder. Sometimes it's a glue, sometimes it's a component out of the material itself, and then it's pressed with heat and forms then a consistent sheet. There's a wide range of these. Very common ones we have in Australia, a particle board. We also have medium density fibre board like these. Overseas there are other products such as flake boards, strand boards, etc. We also then have low density fibre board, such as this one, where the material is quite aerated and it's quite light.
Finally, it's worth just touching on engineered or composite type wood products. One that's quite common is the idea of the engineered I-beam. This particular one has an oriented strand board web with laminated veneer lumber flanges. Some I-beams are available which also contain some metallic components, whether it be the web or some joining, but ultimately it's a composite of one or more wood products made in the factory under quite tight quality control. Another product is components made by joining one, two or numerous wood elements together with metal plates. And then along the similar theme we've got nail plate trusses made, hardwood, softwood at various different scales, made either as a commodity in standard sizes or to a project-specific solution.
The one thing you will notice here is that there's a wide range of timber products, running all the way from rounds through to our assembled products. And there's many different ways in which we can put these assembled products together, both with other wood products and with other materials that we use in building. We've only shown you a few of them. And remember also that this podcast is really just an introduction to each of these types of products, and that in subsequent podcasts we're going to be looking at each of these different types in more detail. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.